Welcome, and welcome back to another video. If there is one thing that all living beings have in common in this world, it is the pursuit of happiness. We all want to be happy, and we all seek happiness in our lives. If I were to ask you, would you like to be happy in your life? Your answer would undoubtedly be, of course, I want to be happy. I want to be in a peaceful state. I need that. That is the answer of all living beings. The Buddha says that all living beings desire happiness and seek it. If we truly reflect on our lives, we realize that we are on a never-ending journey to pursue happiness. Let me say that again. We are on a never-ending journey of pursuing happiness. This means we are chasing and seeking happiness, but we still haven't found it. So, what is the reason for this? Why is it that, despite our efforts, we don't find happiness? We are seeking it, we are fighting for it, yet we don't find it. What is the reason for this? The Buddha teaches us that we are searching for happiness in a source where happiness does not exist. We are seeking happiness from the external world, from material things. When you seek happiness through material things, you may experience pleasure, but that is not true happiness. Pleasure is temporary and provides instant gratification, whereas true happiness is long-lasting and gives you contentment with yourself. That is why the Buddha teaches us that we are looking for happiness in a place where it does not exist. The more we search, the more frustrated we become. So, will we ever be able to find happiness in our lives? The Buddha answers this question with a resounding yes. How can we find happiness? If we look closely at the first and second verses of the Dhammapada, Buddha says, if one with an impure mind speaks or acts, suffering will follow him like a cartwheel follows the ox. In the next verse, Buddha says, if one with a pure mind speaks or acts, happiness will follow him like a shadow following a man. This means that happiness and sadness entirely depend on the purity or impurity of our minds. When our mind is pure, we can find happiness. So, how can we achieve purity in our minds in order to find happiness? The teachers offer many ways to purify the mind. And today, I'm going to share a few practices that can help you find happiness in your life. First, fasting and accepting the reality of life will give you happiness. Life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes we have good days, and sometimes we have bad days. Sometimes we have beautiful memories, and sometimes we have miserable ones. Life is not consistent. It has its highs and lows. When you realize this reality, you can face these situations successfully. It's not always the bad experience that makes us frustrated. It is our reaction to the bad experience that causes frustration. Whenever you face a bad experience, difficult situation, or tough day, you have two choices. You can focus on the pain and feel miserable, or you can focus on the lesson that the situation teaches you. Learn from it, and grow from it. When you accept the reality of life, you understand that these challenges are temporary. Sometimes the people around us are not in our control. We cannot control their reactions or their opinions. When you realize these things, you will be able to face such situations more successfully. That is one way to find happiness. Accepting the reality of life. The second practice is generosity. The Buddha teaches that practicing generosity is a major part of Buddhism. In Buddhism, generosity is known as dana. Buddha teaches us to give without any expectations. We must give and dedicate ourselves to others without expecting anything in return. This is an important practice. Most of the time, we tend to hold on to things or gather things toward ourselves. People often think that by collecting more or accumulating more, they will find happiness. However, true happiness comes from giving without expecting anything back. You may get rich and gain pleasure, but that does not bring true happiness. It may provide temporary satisfaction, but it will not give you lasting happiness. What we need to do is to be generous, help others, and dedicate part of your life to serving others. When you do this, when you become more generous, let's consider this example. You give food to someone in need. When you see that person eating and overcoming their hunger, when their life becomes better because of your help, you can feel happiness by witnessing that. This kind of happiness is different from what you feel when you eat a good meal or wear nice clothes. Those things may provide momentary pleasure, but they do not make you feel good about yourself. However, when you reflect on the good you've done, even years later, you'll still feel happy about it. For example, years from now, when you think back on that moment of giving food to someone in need, you will still feel a sense of joy. This means that happiness derived from generosity is long-lasting. So, Buddha teaches us to be generous, help people, and do something nice for others every day. That is one practice that brings happiness. The third practice is forgiveness. Forgiving is one of the most important things we can do to create happiness in our lives. We need to forgive ourselves and forgive others. Forgiveness does not mean you are condoning the mistakes of others. Nor does it mean you're saying it's okay. Forgiveness means you free your heart from the burden of holding onto resentment. When you forgive, it is not for the person you are forgiving, it is for your own peace of mind. We also need to forgive ourselves. We all make mistakes. And if we hold on to those mistakes from the past and let them ruin our present, we cannot find happiness. So, whatever wrongs we have done in the past, we must develop the ability to forgive ourselves and move forward. We all have the ability and the privilege to start over and make our lives better. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. The key is to forgive and start doing good things. These are 3 practices that can help you create happiness in your life. Additionally, there is another type of happiness known as the ultimate happiness, which Buddha teaches us about. This is called nirvana, or nibbana, which represents enlightenment. When you understand the reality of life and remove all desires and cravings from your mind, Buddha says you will experience the ultimate happiness. Nirvana, simply put, is the removal of desire, anger, and delusion in the mind. This is enlightenment, the highest level of happiness that we can attain. When you practice these teachings and engage in wholesome actions, you will create happiness in your life. So, practice these principles and make your life a happier one. Take care and see you in the next video.